Everyone. We are back with episode 3 of the Empire podcast. Today, Chris cannot join me. However, we will be having Oliver from the Glove Touch Media, MMA Media. And Oliver's been around for a little bit now, and he's been doing a lot of great things. If you kind of recognize the name, he's been doing a lot of. He does a lot of stuff for some of the fighters. I know he's done a lot of things for bare knuckle boxing, and he's also done a lot of other things. He does a lot of cool posters, things like that. So he's doing a lot of good work, and he has a lot of good work ethic. So today we're going to be having him on, and he'll be joining us very soon.
You see me?
There he is.
What's up, man?
Oliver, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to finally get to one-on-one chat with you, and it's good that we get to do this.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Hey, no problem, no problem. I do apologize again that Chris can't join us, one of my journalists. Just with the time and everything going on, he's got other things he got work and stuff like that. So it's just you as our guest tonight. So I'm happy to have you on here. I gotta ask, whereabouts are you?
I am in South Carolina. I'm actually at my clubhouse right now. I'm not at home. It's hot as shit out here, and I'm wearing a jacket. Because my dumbass wanted to be swagged out for this interview. So
That's all right. Yeah. So Clubhouse, what do you mean by what is that exactly? I can't even
it's
envision that.
it's like the gym restaurant area in my neighborhood.
Okay. Right
Yeah.
on. And so is that like a big thing in the States, or maybe I'm just living under a rock, but
You're not living in the States?
I'm not sure. I'm not I don't know. There's so many different there's things like as much as we speak the same language, you think that everything is the same in America and Canada. It's just not the same. There's so many different little in little things that are they're so different, I find.
What part of Canada you live in?
So I live in Ontario. Chris and I both live in Ontario. He lives around like Toronto area, and then I
Yeah.
live like three and a half hours away in the southern. So I live like actually if I walked out my front door, I could see the states from my house. So I live like right on the other side of the river, from like Port Huron, Michigan.
Yeah.
So I live in Courtright. Um, yeah, so it's hard to describe how like people are like, oh, you live that close. I'm like, no, literally, I can see another country. So when
Yeah.
when Americans ask me that, they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, no, like that's how freaking close I am.
Isn't
So
isn't isn't the main language in Canada French though? Or uh I forgot. Is it just English? Because I thought they speak another language over there.
yeah, so for you guys, obviously you speak English, but like your second language would be Spanish. For
Yeah.
us, it's French Canadian. Uh, it'd be French, but obviously it's more the French we learn is French Canadian. So if you have you got like guy like George St. Pierre, he goes over to like I don't know if you saw, but he went to the UFC France card. And I'm
Yeah.
sure he could hold up a conversation with people, but there's probably the little sim difference different dialects. I'm sure that there are different between France French, and then there's a difference with that and how they speak French in Quebec. um
Do, do you know how to speak French? Or do you just speak English?
uh like for myself, like very limited. It's something that in Canada you have to learn it as you age, and it's something that you learn in school. So
Yeah.
you're very limited. It's enough to kind of it's just enough to say that you learn some French. Everybody here can say hello, goodbye. Maybe certain words. For myself, I just had that ability to really hang on to the language, so I could probably understand it more than I can speak it, and I can read it better than I can speak it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I took French in my freshman year, and I I thought it would be similar to Spanish because some Spanish words sound like English words. It's kind of similar in some realms of it. French was a whole nother fucking planet. Like it was so confusing. I just I passed with a 60, like right on the dot of passing because of Google Translate.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah,
I mean, like, but if that'd be no different if I went over and lived in the States and I had tried to learn Spanish, it would take I'd be lost.
yeah,
It's yeah, it's definitely something that you gotta really put the work into. I know I hear about all these apps trying to sell their idea that they'll teach you Spanish or French or whatever language you want in like so many weeks, and I'm like, that's bullshit. I think it's
yeah,
a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more difficult than just to listen to something and repeat it. I think you have to be in situations where you have to be able to pick that out and use that in certain situations. Um, but yeah, no. Enough about that. I wanted to ask you some things. Like so, the whole thing with the glove touch. Like, how do you? Because I know like you've been around for a while now.
yeah, for years.
Yeah, for a few years now. Like, how did you get the whole glove touch name?
So during COVID, I had pretty much nothing to do, so I wanted to. I was on Instagram. I saw all these other pages posting news and whatever. So I wanted to create my own Instagram page. I actually started with Twitter, but I hate Twitter. But so I deleted my account. I can't physically I can't mentally I fucking hate Twitter so much. I'm pretty sure most people agree with me. But I made an Instagram account. I wasn't really dedicated to it until like January next year. I trained with Andy Nguyen and Andrea Lee in Greenville. And when Andy fought next, she fought in Atlanta, and I sponsored her for that fight. So I started posting consistently, and eventually the MMA holes got me a press pass to XMMA, and I've been covering events in person since then.
Yeah, that XMMA. I've seen you and MMA like Breeze and
Yeah,
couple other good pages out there that have been able to do that. Honestly it's kind of sad. Unfortunate that I can't go over and do it. I've been
you know what's interesting about XMMA?
what's that?
You know what's interesting about XMMA?
What's
I looked on Sheerdog and I found out that there was events from like 2008 and 2009 from XMMA, and they didn't have an event from like 2009 to 2021. So it was like a 12-year period where they weren't having any fights, and all the fights were in Canada. It was a Canadian promotion. If you
that's
look up XMMA 2008, they'll be like speaking French, and yeah, I didn't know that. I asked the promoter, and he didn't give me any information on it.
Yeah, and it sucks because I've only covered one live event. And it's BTC Fight Promotions, and
Yeah,
they're like a regional circuit, and it was really cool and it was a good experience. It was the first time I ever done it, and I was really nervous. But yeah, it's really hard for Canadian MMA right now. As much as like you'll hear a lot of if you talk to a lot of Canadian fighters, they say like the Canadian MMA community, as much as it's so broad, it's so tight knit. Like everyone knows
yeah,
everyone, and everyone has trained with everyone. And to just speak up about Elias Theodoro, rest in peace. I've had a chance to talk with him a couple times, and it's really sad what happened with him.
yeah.
In there, um, yeah, like I don't know, like I was shocked because obviously I don't know if you heard the whole story, but he didn't tell anybody that,
Yeah,
that he had cancer.
yeah, it's crazy that he didn't tell anybody. I was really like shocked to see that news story when I woke up yesterday.
Well, because the thing is too, if he had cancer, he must have had a pretty aggressive form because I only chatted with him maybe less than a year ago, and I get it, like not all cancers can kill you slowly, but it just seemed it was so surreal. It was hard to believe because I just chatted with him maybe, yeah, like I said, months ago. He was actually getting. I think it was like the night or two before his show. I think when he fought in Colorado and he won that fight. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it was really crazy to kind of hear about that. Uh,
I saw in the comments, I don't know how true this is, but I saw someone say that he had a fight that they saw that he had a fight scheduled.
Yeah, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like, because like if you time it, my last interview I had with him, it was a while ago. So I was like, well, it would make sense that with COVID kind of going away and things picking up, at least for Canadian fighters, they would start getting a lot more fights booked. Um,
Yeah.
so it's possible, but again, like it could have been one of those things where he thought, hey, I'll just fight, and no matter what, we'll see what happens. I don't know, like I don't know. This story hasn't been told yet, and probably won't out of respect, but it's just unfortunate what happened. And the thing is, like,
Yeah.
whether people what people had to say about him and how he fought, and I know his whole thing in the whole UFC, like he was like just to chat with the guy, he was always like just a straight up guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like just straight up guy, respectful, just nothing but a true freaking icon, and he always will be a Canadian icon. So I just wanted to throw him his name in there real quick, just because we were kind of going on about Canadian MMA. Hey, run away there.
My bad. I had to take that jacket off. I was fucking dying.
No problem. Hey man, I really like the whole Venom shit. So do you buy that all like online, or did you get that
Yeah.
at events that you went to?
No, I bought it online. I actually reached out to them once for a sponsorship. They said no. Um, but
Venom?
yeah, I really like their gear. It's really fits well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You say you reached out to Venom?
Yeah.
And they just shot you down and said fuck no, like what's going
I
on?
was posting them, I was tagging them on my stories, and as a joke, I was saying I'm gonna do this every day until Venom sponsors me. And like a week after that, I was like, "So what's up?" And they wrote like a whole message saying that they're not looking for a sponsorship right now, and you know, yeah, they basically told me to go fuck myself.
Yeah, bastards, Jesus. No, I get it. I mean, they have their own thing going on, and I mean they got
Yeah,
a whole partnership with the UFC, so they
they don't have to pay me. I just want free clothes, to be honest.
don't we all. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it, man. Like the problem is and I find people, I see a lot in the MMA community where certain people with these accounts will try to get sponsorships with like all these, and it's like fuck, like you can't just do that. Like you got to be
yeah,
genuinely interested in wearing the brand, or you got to be genuinely interested in drinking the energy drinks or whatever. I mean, I love to be sponsored by like Monster or whatever those companies
yeah.
are, but you got to build your brand, and that's just yeah.
I was looking everywhere for a sponsor too at that time. I reached out. I remember for like a week, I was reaching out to fucking butterfly flew in my hair. I was reaching out to like 5 companies a day trying to get a sponsor, and like everybody turned me down. I actually did get a sponsor recently. RDX Supplements. They're a protein supplement company. So I've
Yeah, I
been
saw
working with them
that.
for like the
Yeah,
past
like
month. But
how'd
yeah,
that all form out?
it's good. I actually like the guy that runs the Instagram page. I work really well with him. He responds quickly, and I'm really glad that I he's one of my first sponsors.
Wow. And how old are you again?
17.
You're only 17. Shit, man. Like I knew you're young, but like I didn't think that you were that young. Like I was
Yeah,
aiming more like 18, 19. But respect for you, man. Like I mean, the fact that you're doing all this stuff. So like I would assume you're still in school, or did you just finish?
I'm still in school. I'm in my junior year.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Crazy. That's crazy. Like now that the clocks have turned, because like it's weird because normally I'm talking with like people that are much older than me or the same age,
yeah,
whatever. Like it's weird to and then to kind of put myself back in like high school, because again, like
yeah,
when you're talking about the similarities and differences with the States and Canada, so you're talking about junior and freshman, and then and then you got your senior years. For us,
yeah,
you don't have that. You just have grade 9, grade 10, grade 11, grade 12. And then obviously you get your fifth year if you ever want to come back. So
yeah.
it's weird to put myself back in there and think, oh shit, yeah, that was like Jesus, I graduated like almost 10 years ago. So it's no respect for you for doing that at such a young age. Like that's a lot of commitment. All right,
Yeah,
is that something that you want to do like MMA
for
media?
sure. Yeah, actually, as soon as I turn this is actually my plan. As soon as I turn 18, I actually don't have my driver's license yet, which is a problem. But as soon as I want to turn 18, I mean, as soon as I do turn 18, I want to make I want to get one of those minivans and live in one of those minivans and start driving around the country as soon as I turn 18, just going to as many events as possible, making as many connections as I can, like 1 or 2 events a week.
Yeah, no, that's smart. It's probably one of the best things that you can do.
Yeah,
When you're young, when you're that young, and you have the freedom and the ability to do that. Um,
yeah.
I find the barriers that I have covering events and doing media. Well, for one, right now, I'm currently in bodybuilding, so I'm in a contest prep, and it's just it takes a lot of your time and and also it's so important, right? Like you can't just say, well, fuck it, I won't go to the gym today because I got to interview these fighters. No, I like as
Yeah.
much as I'm working with the fighter and their schedule, I'm also working with mine. So they'll suggest, like, I remember talking to some, I think I talked with upgrade management the one time. He's like, oh, and Julian's like, oh, does this work for, I think it was Jessica. I don't know, it wasn't Jessica. Oh Jesus, I think it might have been the Ghost Pepper. Jesus, I talked with so many fighters. I think Gonzalez is his last name, but anyway,
Pro Gonzalez.
Eric Gonzalez. Yeah, he just fought Terrace McKinney. Yeah, so yeah, I think I tried to set something up, and I was like, yeah, I guess that time will work. But in my mind, I'm like knowing that okay, shit, now I gotta like I have to change I have to put my workout to a time that I really don't want to go. But that's just part of that's part of being a part-time journalist is that that's
Yeah, I
on top of
remember.
that I work as a frontline worker. So it's yeah, you have to everything everyone's got their own part of a hard part of their life, I guess.
Yeah, I actually that actually happened to me too. I did a interview with Julian Lane with Boston Commons when before he fought Mike Perry. And the interview got pushed back like 3 days in a row. And I come here every time I do a podcast or interview.
Yeah.
So this is like a mile away. It's like a mile walk. So I walked down here 3 days in a row, waited for like 2 hours for him to show up, and that was for like 3 days in a row.
So like did he explain what happened or
He was training.
yeah, I know that happens.
Yeah, his schedule got messed up.
Yeah, man, I'd be pissed. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's one thing that people have to expect. Like anybody, if I had to talk, if I was talking to a young lad right now, and he wanted to get into like the whole journalism, MMA coverage, and all that, I would have to say like the shit does happen, and it's not personal. It's never personal.
yeah,
You have to learn to be resilient because yeah, there's so many things that happen. Like I've had fighters where I've had to reschedule with them twice, or I've rescheduled with them, and I felt so freaking bad because they take their time out of the day to come on
yeah,
and talk about their fight. Or I've had ones where they don't show up and they're like, "Oh shoot, I'm ready to go," and now I'm like preoccupied with something else, so I have to put that on standby and say, "Okay, hold on, let me come over and get ready." So it's yeah, I feel like that's something that people have to that they have to realize and remember. So yeah,
yeah.
I'm right there with you. But yeah, and also one thing I like the big card that just the past weekend. What do you think about all the bullshit that was going on backstage for the UFC 279 presser?
I was shocked. I was training and uh it was like 30 minutes late. I was like, what the fuck is going on? They were like switching the cards around
Yeah.
and it buffered and then I went to another stream and it was just Holland and D Rod up there. And I was like confused. And then they called it off. I was like, what the fuck? I felt like an FBI agent just like looking for everything that was going on
Yeah.
and seeing if there's any footage or anything.
Yeah, well, I know they did release a little bit of footage
Yeah.
with Chimaev and Holland. I think like the day after before the fight. showed up. Of course they did because they want to hype that fight up at when they formed
Yeah.
that together. Um, as much as like all that bullshit happened and all the fights that were supposed to happen didn't happen. I mean, all the guys still fought. And actually, I would have preferred to see the Nate Diaz versus Tony Ferguson fight anyway because it was a great fight. Both guys were in the fight. But I would have been really interested to see how Chimaev would have responded to a Nate Diaz fight. Um,
Yeah, I don't think
it
that
was
would have went well for
really
Nate. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know. I don't know. I think with after what happened with Chimaev in the weight, I know like he put on a performance. It was great and all, but I think a lot of people still weren't impressed. Like as you can hear from the
With
crowd,
Shemaya?
Chimaev, yeah. Like I still feel like people were not obviously, yeah, he got a crazy win and the way he did it was insane.
Yeah,
But I think it doesn't shadow for what he did and how he carried himself after the fact with missing weight and his attitude around that.
yeah,
I don't think people can look past his crazy win and think, okay, yeah, he didn't make the weight, but holy shit, he put on a great performance. I mean, just the reaction from the crowd, they did not want him there. Like it was like
yeah.
it'd be one thing if he missed like a pound or two of weight and he felt really really bad and he was like a
He
really
missed by like 8 pounds, and he was like, "Not bad, right?" While he was getting off the scale. Yeah, that was
yeah.
frustrating to see.
It's such disrespect. Like again, I made a post and someone commented and they're like, "You're what are you a Chimaev hater?" I'm like, no, it has nothing for me hating the guy. It's disrespectful. And after seeing all these fighters that actually work hard, and some of them do still miss weight just because freak health accident or things happen or whatever. Like it's just disrespectful in the way you carry yourself after. Like, dude, I know you have a lot of carry in the company, but like I wouldn't be too proud of myself if I was missing weight like that. Like
Yeah, he was, and he was like beefing with everybody the whole week. Like he was acting like he doesn't know how to act, and then he misses weight. He's really good at. He had a really good performance, but it was just frustrating to see that how he just like didn't care.
well, and the thing is he had a great performance, but he had a great performance against Kevin Holland, who was not prepared for him at all.
Yeah,
Who obviously is not matched is unmatched when it comes to wrestling, which actually at first he didn't do too bad, but like, you only can score him for so long. You only can get someone off you for so long. But I really was hoping that Kevin was going to, hold him out and then, it was a 5 round fight and Jemayev, man, I think he's gonna be in trouble when he gets a title shot because
yeah,
I'm certain that he will eventually, and I think he's gonna be in trouble because whether Kamaru Usman or Leon Edwards or whoever is gonna fight him and puts him in 5 round fight, he's not gonna I can't see him going for all 5 rounds with the same kind of energy.
yeah. Who do you think? Do you think he can beat Leon Edwards? I don't think. I think he can maybe beat Leon Edwards, but I don't know about Kamaru because Kamaru's better at. Kamaru's like known for wrestling, and Leon Edwards is kind of a well rounded fighter. Um, so I would think Usman has a better chance against him than Leon, but
It
I
would
don't know. What do
definitely
you
be
think?
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really hard to envision that because, yeah, like, I mean, shit, we saw what happened with Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, and like that was crazy, and no one
yeah.
saw that happening. I mean, as much as like I was about to shut the TV off and say, okay, good night, you
I
know,
was falling asleep before it happened.
Leon's gonna it just got his ass whooped. He's putting his head down the corner. He's like, feeling sorry for himself. I'm thinking, okay, well, that's good night, Irene, and yeah, it was fucking good night, Irene. The other way, I mean, and then like that was the same thing too. 'Cause I wasn't falling asleep, but I was kind of like that point where it's like, all right, time to turn her off. There's 50, there's like something like 50 seconds left in the fight. I was not even gonna pay attention anymore. I was almost gonna go on my phone, and I kind of look at the TV, and then that's when the kick happened. And I saw him as if you watch back at Leon's foot, he kind of almost feinted with his right.
Yeah, and it makes him lean towards it.
Yeah, he made him lean towards it, and then that's when he switched and he got him good. Which I mean, that was a clean kick. There's nothing
Yeah,
to get down about that. Like, but the thing is, I feel like Leon Edwards is gonna lose the rematch. I don't think that really affected Kamaru Usman at all. I think Kamaru Usman has that champion mentality. I mean, the way he carried himself, even if you watch him on with Joe Rogan on the Joe Rogan Experience, he had a very positive like vibes about it. Like
yeah.
he didn't look broken. He just said, "Oh well, shit happens," and but that's
I feel like if he got dominated the whole fight, then it would have been a little different. But he did just get caught with he fought a really good fight, but he just got caught. So
well, and
I think
he learned to accept it for what it is, and a lot of
yeah,
people sometimes get really butthurt about it. They're so um they're so bitter about something that you can't change, and that's something that you have to learn as a fighter and in person in general, like in life. Like you have to accept things that you cannot change, and it sucks, but you know what, he knows like I'm gonna come back and whoop the guy's ass. Like,
yeah,
so no hate on Leon, but I'm sorry, but I wasn't if I want to give my personal opinion, I wasn't a big fan of his post fight speech. I felt it was a little almost like the way he carried himself. It felt very almost like, hey, I beat the guy's ass for 5 rounds, when really that's not the story that you told in your post fight speech.
yeah.
So,
I disagree though. I think it was just raw emotion. You know, he just won the title. He's had a bunch of bad luck, and I think all that bad luck was just getting to him in the moment, and he was just saying "fuck you" to um the past like few years because he has had a bunch of bad luck
for
and he
sure.
hasn't. Yeah, I think all that was just building, getting to him during the interview. I would be
Maybe a
happy
little bit
too.
of
You
that
know what I'm
pressure.
saying?
Yeah. So I can understand that for sure. But yeah, the whole UFC 279, it turned out to be all right. I
Yeah,
still wasn't overly impressed with the card, but it turned out all right to be what it
I
was.
feel I feel bad for Jay. What's his name? Li Jingliang. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
yeah.
he got fucking screwed over big time.
He got robbed. They didn't let him show his suit at the press conference.
Oh, that's like the worst day at work you can ever have. Uh, I mean, like it was a close fight, there's no doubt, but I still feel like as much as I like or whatever his name, D Rod, I as much as I love the guy, I think he still lost, and I think a
Yeah,
lot of people saw it that way. He had a lot of good things in the fight, but I feel like at the end of the day, he just nah. I think Buddy there won, unfortunately.
yeah, yeah. I was really surprised when they read the decision.
Um,
I thought it was a clean 29-28 for Leon.
But you know what's more crazier is the fact that Nate Diaz finished Tony Ferguson with two
I'm
minutes and
surprised.
9 seconds on the clock.
Yeah,
That's insane.
I'm shocked that Tony Ferguson didn't tap to Charles Oliveira's armbar, but tap to Nate Diaz guillotine.
Yeah, but you don't know to what extent and also too, like, depending on the situation that Tony was in that armbar.
Yeah,
And I think there was two different points of his career where he didn't want to lose that fight because he thinking, okay, well, if I can win against Charles, bounce back here, and I can get maybe a title shot out of it. Or I can't remember how many losses he had, but I think that was a fight after that was after the one fight with Justin
are
Gaethje,
you?
I
Oh,
believe.
Gaethje.
Gaethje. So, his mindset could have been a little bit different. Whereas this fight, he knew, okay, well, I probably don't want to get choked out unconscious because, I don't want to take any further damage. And you don't know how clean he had his neck to. Like, I feel it's harder to, I think it's easier to battle armbar sometimes than it is with the choke. I know that firsthand. I've been put to sleep. It's not fun. It's really not fun at all.
Yeah,
So and also the fight is what it is. It wasn't a fight that was gonna determine anything other than it was just a good fight, and it should
Yeah,
happen years ago. But we're here
I
now.
wish it did happen years ago because I don't. I love them both, but I think they both looked pretty bad, in my opinion.
Uh, I don't know. I mean, Nate. I don't know the whole thing. If he was actually that tired, I can tell. I don't think he trained that hard.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
he stopped fighting and took a lap in round 2. He just decided to take a fucking lap.
but I don't know if that was just more of a like trying to get in Tony's head, like just trying to fuck with him, or
Yeah,
because Tony was doing a lot of that stuff too. Like Tony didn't look tired; he just looked like they're just both. This was who gives a fuck fight, and he knows Tony was
yeah,
gonna go after him. Um, but who knows what the Chimaev fight could have been, and that we'll never know because I think Nate's gonna go box and make some real money. That's what he really wants to do,
I think Nate's gonna fight in his own promotion that he launched.
and he should. I mean, why not? If you got your
Yeah,
promotion,
Mayweather does it.
yeah, and if you really want to, you can. I know he's probably gonna have some other fights for sure, but yeah, no, if you can make more money in boxing, why don't you? And I think
Yeah,
that's why I've talked with other fighters that have transitioned into bare knuckle boxing. I know you have a lot of good connections with some fighters over there.
yeah.
With that Taylor
Taylor Starling.
yeah, she's got a lot of good things going on there too. But yeah, like with a lot of these MMA fighters, they're going over to the bare knuckle boxing because, well, one, you only have to worry about getting punched in the face. You're not getting kicked, taken down,
Yeah,
and you're seeing all these fighters making freaking crazy, insane, stupid money, and it's crazy to think like if they were in the UFC, like, and a lot of them were from the UFC, or Bellator or whatever, and they're all coming
yeah,
into this bare knuckle scene and they're making so much more money. But I mean, big money can come with big reward and big risk. So it's definitely cool to kind of see, like it's crazy to see, like I'm going to use Pearl Gonzalez for example because I know she's done the bare knuckle boxing, and not
yeah,
in a million years would I ever seen her go to bare knuckle boxing. I could see her maybe doing like a jiu-jitsu match, which I think she has done, but not bare knuckle boxing. But she's doing some great things over there. Like it's crazy.
yeah. That's another thing I think Nate should do is do jujitsu.
Oh yeah, definitely. I still think he could whoop ass there.
Yeah, but I don't know how many years left he has in MMA.
Well, he talks about, oh, I can do this, but like, yeah, I will agree with you. Like, he didn't look. It
Phenomenal.
was not him fighting Conor McGregor out there. I
Yeah.
remember when he fought Conor McGregor, and that was a hell of a freaking fight.
Hmm.
But I think his damage. I mean, he's still tough and he's still whatever. But again, we'll never know what that fight would have been like with Chimaev. So
Yeah, I feel like Chimaev would have steamrolled him in my opinion. Because the way he did fight, the way Nate Diaz did fight, if he prepared like that for Chimaev, I feel like it would have been really bad for Diaz.
yeah, it's tough to really say. I mean, yeah, age just catches up with you whether you want it to or not, and yeah, it's hard to really say how he would have how everything would have worked out for him in that fight. But I think
Yeah,
Chimaev, he's got to have his time coming too, and I think Chimaev is going to fight a guy that's not going to get easily out wrestled. And we talked about Kamaru Usman. I think he's one of those guys. And again, I mean, and I made a post today, and a guy like Colby Covington, I think Colby would give him serious problems because Colby's
yeah,
stand up has gone a lot better. Chimaev, really, I don't think has the most amazing stand up, and Colby's the kind of guy, he knows how to tire people out, and he knows how to put you in a 5 round fight, and he knows
yeah.
how to do it so well.
I
And you gotta think that they would make that fight. They gotta.
I think he should fight rather Colby or Paulo Costa.
Yeah, both fights are possible. I think
But
Paulo is probably more likely because I don't think he wants to go back down to 170. I think he finally realizes that, hey, you can't get cocky and make that kind of weight cut. So if you don't want to
yeah,
do that, then go up to 185 and make the weight there and fight a monster like Paulo Costa because Paulo's not going to come in and just. I don't think Paulo Costa is just going to come in and let you hit him or try to let you take him down. He's going to throw some power. But Polo can gas out too, and he like I mean Luke Rockhold, holy shit, that was a crazy fight too.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Unfortunately, like Chimaev, he's got to run into some problems in that 185 division. Like
Yeah,
there's some big boys there, so I mean he's got his hands full up there. But yeah,
I. The thing about Kobe though is I feel like he has a really good chance to get a title shot right now since Usman isn't the champion.
yeah, yeah.
So, I think the UFC would rather put him against Edwards than Usman again.
For sure, and I think that there's a good strong possibility of that happening. Because besides Usman, I mean, even Usman fights, it wasn't like I don't feel like he totally got his ass whooped. Every other person he's fought, and he's dominated. I mean, dominated.
Yeah,
Um, granted, yeah, like with Masvidal, yeah, I know Masvidal maybe doesn't have all the wrestling there, but still, I mean, the way he dismantled Masvidal. I
and in the
always
striking
imagine what he's
too.
gonna do. What's that?
And in the striking too, he basically outstriked him, except for when he got dropped in round 4. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So it's like Colby can take a hit and he's durable and he's got the cardio to back it up and his cardio is just insane. He doesn't get tired. Like he just keeps fighting.
yeah.
Yeah, Colby's freaking good. No matter what the character he puts on, you gotta respect his fighting ability, the way the man can fight. I honestly I'm excited to see him get back in. I love the stuff he does. I think it's hilarious, and
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait, man. Like
Also another thing I want to talk about. I want to Irene Aldana. I want to see her get the title shot next against Nunez.
I think yeah, I think she's got it. Um, whether or not Aldana is gonna beat Nunes, that's a tough one. But
Yeah, I
hey,
don't know about that one, but I feel like she deserves the title shot. I don't know if she's
title
gonna
shot.
win or not, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I think she could probably get the title shot. But that being said, we'll see what happens with her too. Um,
Yo, they did Johnny Walker dirty, kicking it. They kicked him out
oh,
before he can even take his gloves off.
yeah, fuck.
I feel so bad for him. But
Yeah,
he was just standing outside the hotel with his fight gear on and his gloves on, barefoot.
yeah. It's
Everybody was looking at
unfortunate.
him and
It's
shit.
unfortunate how that ended because I mean Johnny Walker came back with
He
a
looks great.
win. He looked awesome.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and I mean it must be good for him not just to get a win back, but to get a finish back. Um, yeah, I couldn't be any more happier for him. Johnny Walker, yeah. Yeah, so with Johnny Walker, man, like yeah, like it was great to kind of see him come back the way he did and get the finish as well. I mean, that just must boost his confidence. So I don't know, maybe the whole smoking CBD and not getting that THC in there, I don't know, maybe that helped. I don't know.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Who else? Chris Barnett.
yeah.
Yeah, he looked. That was a really good fight. I wonder what happened to his jaw
Yeah, I'm
because
not
it was like
sure.
hanging off of him. Joe said. Joe said he might have had a nerve go out when he got punched.
It's possible. I mean, anything can happen. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen that with somebody's jaw, but I didn't know it could happen. I thought that was just with the legs, but you said that would be crazy.
yeah, I've never seen anybody have that kind of injury, but there's so many different injuries that we as spectators do not know until you like interview. So I've had fighters where I've interviewed them and I've asked for example oh like I remember asking oh shit, who was it? Oh, I can't remember. talk with so many people, but I've had other fighters where they've talked about like, oh no, like they just fought a couple weeks ago. So they look fun and they got out of the fight fun. They're like, oh no, I broke a little bone in my hand. I'm like, the fuck? Like it's like Jesus. Like, is there anything that you don't break in a fight? Like Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw I was I saw Chris Weidman break his leg right in front of my face. I was at that fight. I
Oh
needed
no, was
fucking
that that?
therapy. That
Yeah,
was terrible.
yeah, that was the one with Uriah Hall, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
fucking heard that shit snap. That was fucking terrible. I wanted to fucking throw up. The reaction in the crowd, like I don't know if you saw that picture of the crowd, while how everybody was disgusted. That shit was real. That was fucking gross.
No, when it happened in real time, at
Yeah.
first did you know what happened, or did you know maybe he just hurt his leg and that was it, or was it more they
Well,
showed the replay?
okay, so I saw the kick land and I started going, "Oh, like that was a good kick." I saw him step back. Um I saw Herb Dean wait the fight off. Obviously, he wouldn't just stop. Obviously, if he stopped the fight that quick, he saw something was physically wrong. Then I started thinking of Anderson Silva and how Anderson Silva broke his leg on Chris Weidman's leg. Now Chris Weidman's breaking his leg on Uriah Hall, who just beat Anderson. So all that shit is going through my head right now. So I screamed. I'll send you the video after this. I
It's
screamed
like the
no
gift
way.
that keeps on giving, eh?
Yeah, I screamed, I screamed no way like 50 fucking times because I was all that shit was going through my head. Like it didn't feel real.
No, what did you ever post that to YouTube at all?
Yeah, it has like 100,000 views on there.
Oh shit, yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say because fuck, like, yeah, that would have been replayed so many times. Like, isn't the internet sick when it comes to shit like that? People want to see
yeah,
someone's leg get broken. like,
yeah. That is
like
so weird.
imagine like you're Chris Weidman and they're like, hey man, I gotta show you something. Someone posted a video of you getting your leg broken. It's like,
You
thanks,
know what's
man. I
funny?
feel great. Feel awesome.
You know what's funny? I actually I was actually my teacher was it was like on the first day of school, and my teacher was like asking us about what we did, and um my teacher pulled up my YouTube channel on the big screen and clicked that video.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. So boys and girls, you want to see how chicken leg breaks? Here you go.
Yeah.
No, 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 no disrespect to Chris Wyman. Like that's a freaking gruesome injury. It sucks. I mean,
I
even
saw Christian at UFC 268 after that happened.
yeah, and
Yeah,
did you get a chance to chat with him or?
yeah, I did. He said he was feeling better. He didn't say. I asked if he was coming back, and he said yeah, but he didn't say when.
Well, that's good. It's good to hear that he is. I mean, even Chris Wyman, it sucks to see where he's at in his career.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, even like a guy like Conor McGregor when he broke his leg, like that was weird to see Conor actually injured because he's always every fight he's been in, like yeah, he's been cut up, maybe beat up a little bit, but nothing. He's
yeah.
never looked terrible coming out of a fight. But that was the first time I actually seen him get legit hurt, and he was like fucking hurt. And Connor's been finished. He's been whatever, but I've
Submitted,
never actually seen it
got
happen
knocked
to him.
out.
It did. It was a little like surreal. Like fuck, did he really break his leg? Jesus.
Yeah, I was surprised how he handled it though. Like, because everybody else when they break their leg, they're like they don't want to speak to anybody. Connor was jerking off in the crowd when he was leaving on the stretcher. He
Stop
was,
that stoppage. Stop
yeah, it
that
was,
stoppage.
yeah.
Can't do it, but
That,
yeah,
I'm surprised
no.
how he handled it.
But I will say it was so weird that the way he turned on that character and how pissy he got and like he
Yeah,
kept calling out like the dust. I'm like, dude, I thought like when he did that when they had the third fight, I was like, okay, here comes the evil Connor, and then he'll respect his opponent at the end of the fight. But no, he just kept it going. Like I mean, like the man freaking broke his shin bone. Like you're in pain, you're not feeling great. He probably was just it was all raw emotion, it was all pissy, and it happens, right? Like,
yeah,
and even with him, like I wonder if he's ever gonna come back. But I think a lot of
probably.
people are tired of the whole Connor. I'll just fight when I want to, and rightfully should, as he rightfully should. At the same
He's
time,
doing that movie now. He's doing
yeah,
Roadhouse. So I don't.
Roadhouse, yeah.
Yeah. So that's gonna. He probably gonna be busy with that for the next few months.
I think it's great for a lot of these fighters to get into all these movies
Yeah, I
and
can't wait to see what movie Cowboy does. What movies he's gonna be in.
yeah. So if you haven't checked it out, I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast when he interviewed Gina Carano. I was actually supposed to meet her in a fan expo in Toronto, but she couldn't get across the border because she didn't get her vaccine. Which it's like, what were you expecting? Like, you can't get
Yeah,
across the border if you're not vaxxed. Like, I mean, nobody asks her to get vaxxed, but anyway, so she talked about making a new movie, and I think it was something about it's like a Western movie, of course. So she's got Cowboy in there. Apparently, she said she loved Cowboy in it. She thinks that he could do a lot of great things as a actor, right?
yeah,
And she thinks he did a really good job because he has that raw kind of cowboy mannerisms and that character that he brings to himself. So for him to get into character to portray something that's similar to what he's already like, I like to see it, but I haven't been able to find it like the way to watch it without having to really pay for it. So,
yeah,
yes, I shouldn't be saying that, but yeah, that being said, if I have to pay to watch it, I will. I'm sure it's probably really good. Um, Actually, another thing, I don't know if you've been watching, but Cobra Kai, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Tyron Woodley were both.
yeah. I saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. It was kind of funny because like I watched the scene. I don't know if you got to the part where hey, Tyron Woodley in the show he gets knocked out. And he's laying there like this, like acting like he's knocked out. And all I can see is somebody making a meme of him being knocked out and saying like just something
Yeah,
like that. I don't know, but
this community is fucking ruthless.
yeah, yeah. But in the show, he did a really really good job. He doesn't really. I don't think he really has lines, but obviously that's not what they really hired him for. But it was still really cool to see him in it and him beating up like 15, 16 year olds. Um, I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think it's really good about what all these fighters are doing getting into these movies. The fact that Connor's playing in a Roadhouse movie, I can only suggest that he's probably gonna have a very minimal role, but he may not. I mean, I know Expendables. I know they've had Ronda Rousey, and I think they've had like that boxer Ortiz, I think his name is, and he had a good part in the movie. So there's a there is opportunity for these guys to and these ladies as well to
yeah,
become film stars. The issue I see though is that I don't want Hollywood to resort to getting every single fighter because unfortunately I'm not saying that Connor's not going to be good in the movie, but there is a level of acting that you have to maintain, and if you're going to resort to people that aren't actors in real life, um, and you're just using them for to be an action star, it's you got to be very careful. I think it's
yeah,
a gamble, but I think it's great what they're doing. If you look at it as a marketing sense, I think it's great what movie companies are doing, and they're also bringing a lot of awareness to MMA as well. But people look it up, they're like, oh, that's Conor McGregor. He does MMA, and gets people more interested in UFC, MMA, and all that stuff. So I think it's really good what they're doing, and
yeah. It's better than Steven Seagal. I have to bring this up about Connor though. Why this motherfucker's posting videos on Instagram of him getting head on a yacht? Like, what the fuck are you doing,
yeah, I was a little like I know Connor's done some crazy shit, but that was just fucked up, man. I'm like,
bro?
excuse me, like, hey, I know I'm a guy and all, and I get it, but it's like, dude, you probably shouldn't be posting a video of your. Well, I guess it's not his wife, but D like giving him a blowjob on a yacht. I'm thinking, dude, like what
Yeah,
the like it's weird. Like it's just I honestly I wasn't so much disturbed. I was just weird. I was like, dude, why? Like what goes through your head when you post that shit? Like it's almost like him and Paulo Costa. They're both really bad for
yeah.
just posting weird shit on the internet. Um, like Paulo Costa, he just posts really weird shit as well. But I think it
Paulo
brings a lot of character.
Paulo's funny though. Connor's just fucking weird.
Yeah,
That
that
yeah,
you point is given there. Paulo is pretty funny, like with the whole secret juice thing, and he just posts funny stuff like I know I don't think it was supposed to be funny because I think he was pissed off. But remember when he got beat by Sonya and everyone and he pulled out the whole red wine excuse and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I remember when he was like, I think he was pissed off because like Adesanya, like he saw that Adesanya humped him after the fight, and he probably watched the footage, and he's like, and he gets up in the camera, he says, "You piece of shit, you fucking piece of shit." Like it was something like that. And I think he was being serious, but I laughed my ass off. I thought it was
yeah,
hilarious. I'm like Paulo, man. Like I think Paulo's funny. I think the stuff that he
yeah.
does, I think it's funny. Um, the only thing is the level of I think I'm trying to find the word, but professionalism in the UFC, and it's the last thing I want to bring up before we wrap her up. But the level of responsibility with the UFC and professionalism with the fighters. A guy that I brought up on Odie Delaney, he's a one FC heavyweight, and he talked about like when he was thinking about signing with promotions and he was a free agent. He talked a lot about like where he would always want to go. And I think he had different promotions reach out to him, but he went to ONE FC because the thing he brought up was that they're really good about keeping their values and it's not. And he was talking about how the with the UFC how UFC's really kind of encouraged a lot of that going beyond just the normal trash talk.
Yeah.
And are you falling asleep there?
No, my bad.
Okay. Um, they go beyond it seems like the UFC is kind of encouraging them to go beyond just the trash talking. With the whole Connor throwing the dolly and the bus, there was no repercussions for that. Like there was no
Yeah,
UFC just said, okay, you know what, Connor, you're done. Like we can't have you in the promotion. It obviously it sold tickets, but it was so like even in that moment, like a lot of people thought, like, what the hell are you doing, Connor? Like that's insane
yeah.
that you did that. You could have killed somebody, and that's the real fact. Even when they had like 50 guys fighting backstage last weekend or last Friday night, you gotta think like,
I saw a notification that the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to investigate that and
yeah.
maybe find some people.
Yeah, well, and that's the problem is that people just get fined, and a lot of the bigger fish, they're like, okay, well, you gotta find me $5,000. Okay, here you go.
Yeah,
It's a lot like any other sport where if you got these athletes making like for us, like hockey's a big thing in Canada, right? So if you have
yeah,
a hockey player that's making 11 million, I know obviously compared to like the sports in the States, you guys are making like $200 million, but if you take a player that's making $11 million and makes a dirty hit and seriously injures somebody and they get fined $5,000 and they get kicked out for like 3 or 4 games, it's like whippity fuck. I mean,
yeah,
okay, I pay 5 grand. I make I make a million. I make 11 million per year. Okay, that's not much to me. So there's no level of repercussion. I find like if you were throwing a dolly at the bus and you were anybody else, if you just did that on the street, shit, you could get charged. You could go to prison,
yeah.
especially if someone got seriously hurt. It's crazy that this stuff continues to happen in the UFC.
I
And
mean, maybe a suspension at least. Like Mike Tyson got like suspended for like 3 or 4 years, right? When he bit Holyfield's ear, something like that.
yeah, well, and not to mention, like he also went to prison as well, but he had a
Yeah,
crazy comeback when he came back because he was in insane shape. But that's another story. Um, but yeah, I don't know Mike Tyson. So yeah, like I mean, when he bit the guy's ear, I mean, yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta give someone a suspension, and then that's a natural consequence. You do shit like that. I mean, something has to be done, and I think that was the right decision. Maybe not so many years, because that does suck because the guy's an athlete, and
yeah.
unfortunately, time is every fighter's enemy, and it's yeah, there has to be something that needs to be done with this stuff in the UFC. I'm all good for the whole trash talk, and maybe guys will walk up and grab the guy's belt off the stage, but it's it becomes a problem when the fight or when the trash talk becomes real and or not real, but it progresses, and that's when real shit happens, like real fighting. I mean, if a fighter wants to match up with another fighter outside the cage, and it's strictly they want to do their own thing and they want to meet
Yeah.
up and do it. That's their thing.
Remember when before Dustin Poirier versus McGregor too? Remember when they were planning to do like a charity match, like a light sparring match
Yeah,
outside the UFC? Remember that?
I think yeah, I'm not sure whatever happened there. They just
Yeah, that
something
was
went
so
wrong.
weird.
Yeah, it was weird. I think like Connor was playing that nice Connor, like, yeah, I'll do something for charity, and
Yeah,
obviously Dustin, you know great Samaritan he is. I mean, he does a lot of great things for the charities and the Good Fight Foundation, and yeah, I think it would have been a good idea, but I mean, the fact that light sparring match more like bullshit code name for like, yeah, you guys would have been fighting.
yeah.
No,
One thing I have a kind of an unpopular opinion. I don't know how unpopular it is, but you did mention one FC. I think, in my opinion, I think one FC fighters are better than UFC fighters.
you could be right. I mean, I'm not.
I mean, these are
I'm
people.
not going to disagree. I'm not going to agree, but you could be right on that.
These are people from Singapore who had no parents. They slept out in the rain all their whole childhood.
Hmm.
They, yeah, like I don't. I'm just saying. I think one FC fighters are, but I think UFC fighters would get eaten up by one FC fighters, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Your upbringing can have effect on how great and tough of a fighter you can be. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. Every fight is different, and that's the thing. Is like every fight can be different. Every opponent can be different. Styles make fights, and yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see if the one thing that UFC I will say, well, I regret seeing is them trading away Mighty Mouse for Ben Askren. Like, I'm not going to be on here to talk shit about Ben Askren because that's not what I'm here
yeah,
for. Ben, I mean, he did great things for what he did. But if you look at the trade, I don't even understand why the hell they traded Mighty Mouse. I mean, can you watch him be in the UFC right now? Other than he got beat by Cejudo, which I don't think he did in the second fight either.
yeah,
But besides on paper that he got beat by Cejudo, I think if he won the belt back there, hypothetically speaking, if they fought again for the third time, he beat him, and Cejudo went off and did the whole Dillashaw fight, and uh, he did his own division, and then retired, and the history went the way it did. I still think Mighty Mouse would have been the champion right now. I mean, Figueiredo would have might given him some problems. Maybe maybe they got maybe Buddy there that's got the interim belt. Maybe could have given him some problems, but yeah. Besides that, I mean, I think Mighty Mouse is just a special freaking guy. He's
yeah.
yeah, he's something like I
I think Mike Mouse needs to be brought up in the GOAT conversation a lot more than he is.
well, I remember making a post and everyone's like, it's not even a question, Luke. It's no, he is the GOAT. And I think he is. I think that there's some good guys that have been there, like the interim champ right now in the UFC. I feel so bad I'm not getting his name right now.
Moreno.
Moreno, yeah. Like I think he can be a good uh flyweight. I think he can be a potential one of the best, but I think he has a little bit to go. And Figueredo as well. He's been up there, but also with Figueredo, like I don't know if he's considered one of the best of all time, but he's definitely worked his way up there. If he can beat Moreno, and there's no question about it, in the fourth fight that they have,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to see what they're gonna do with Moreno then, because well, now if your fourth fight with the title, you would have to. It'd be weird. I mean, like to fight Figgy for the fifth time. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but either somebody would Figueroa would eventually would go up weight because I don't think he's gonna make that weight class that much anymore.
Yeah.
Moreno would have to go up and say, okay, well, I'm gonna have to try go up weight or whatever because it's not working out here. Bad luck. And yeah, we'll definitely see what they're gonna do with those guys as well because I'm
Yeah.
excited to see the fourth fight and see what adjustments they're both gonna make because I don't know what other adjustments you make if they've fought 3 times. And I don't know. We'll definitely see with those guys. But anyway, man, I just wanna say that I want to thank you for coming on here. We're kind of running out of time, so again,
Yeah.
Oliver, it was a pleasure having you on. Or
You too.
again, thank you. No, I appreciate you taking your time again. And for anybody that doesn't know, Oliver is with the Glove Touch. He's also representing Fight Bananas, so go and check them out as well. Check his page out. Um, Oliver's doing a lot of great things, and kid's only 17, so you got a lot of years ahead of you, and good luck
Yeah.
with everything. And we'll stay in touch for sure, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Follow my OnlyFans. It's popping off right now. I'm the Glove Touch on Instagram, Twitter, not Twitter, and YouTube. And thank you for having me on. I had a great time.